Welcome to another deep dive. You know me, I love getting lost in a good book, and well, this time I've really stumbled on something special.
Oh, tell me more. Color me intrigue.
We are diving into the world of Alfonzo Van Rooyen. He's this young South African poet, and let me tell you, his debut collection, Embers of Dawn, is making waves.
I've heard whispers about this one. Powerful stuff, right?
Absolutely. We've got his poems, obviously, and a few interesting articles about his work and style.
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us. So
Oh.
what's the plan? What are we hoping to uncover in this deep dive?
Well, for me, it's all about figuring out what makes his writing so captivating. What is it about his words that resonates so deeply? And of course, what we can learn from his work. I think there's always something to be gained from immersing ourselves in art like this.
Couldn't agree more. Art is a reflection of the human experience after all.
Exactly. And speaking of human experience, one thing that struck me right away was how raw and honest his poems feel. It's like he's pouring his heart out on every single page.
That vulnerability is powerful, isn't it? It's like he's inviting us right into his world.
It is. And even the titles of some of his poems, like Fingerprint Bruises and Arsonist's Lullaby, I mean, they're just so evocative, don't you think?
They really are. They draw you in, make you want to know more. I've read a bit about Van Rooyen's background, and it seems like his life experiences are deeply intertwined with his poetry.
Oh, tell me about that. What have you learned?
Well, he grew up in this tiny town in the northern Cape of South Africa. Imagine stark landscapes, vast open spaces, and now he lives in Johannesburg, a bustling city full of energy. That contrast between the quiet of his childhood and the vibrancy of city life, it's a theme that seems to run through a lot of his work.
Wow, that's fascinating. It makes you wonder how those completely different environments might have shaped his perspective, right?
Absolutely, especially when it comes to big universal themes like love and vulnerability. And he definitely doesn't shy away from those. In fact, the first part of Embers of Dawn dives right into those complex emotions.
You're right. He tackles those themes head on. And he's not afraid to explore the messy, complicated parts of love. It's refreshing, honestly. So many poems and songs romanticize love, but Van Rooyen, he gets real.
He does, and I think that's part of what makes his poetry so gripping. Take Whispers in Code and The Algebra of Want, for example. They're packed with intense imagery and metaphors. It's like he's trying to map out the confusing, the painful even parts of desire.
Oh, absolutely. There's one line from Whispers in Code that really stayed with me. He writes, "At 2 a.m., you told me about the boy who carved his initials into your thigh. I kissed the ghost of his J&M, tasting rust." It's just so vivid, so raw.
It is, isn't it? Powerful stuff. Do you think he's saying something about how the past can linger, even when we're in the present moment?
I think so. It's like those past experiences become a part of us. They shape how we love and how we interact with the world.
Right. And it's not just the imagery. The way he uses language itself is interesting.
Yeah.
In The Algebra of Want, he uses mathematical terms to talk about desire. Your mouth was a variable. I couldn't solve X equals hunger, Y equals fear.
It's so clever. I love that. Like he's saying love can feel like this unsolvable equation that we might never fully crack the code.
Right. Like we're constantly searching for solutions. And that reminds me of how in other poems he talks about bodies as uncharted territory.
Yes, exactly. It's like getting to know someone, truly wanting to understand them can be both exciting and a bit terrifying. Like exploring a new world where anything could happen.
Oh, for sure. It's like venturing into the unknown. And who knows what you might find there? Have you ever felt that way? Like there are parts of someone, maybe even parts of yourself, that you just might never fully grasp.
Absolutely. I think that's something most of us can relate to, right? That push and pull between wanting to know everything about someone and accepting that there will always be parts of them that remain a mystery. It's what makes us human, I guess.
It is. And that's exactly what makes this section of the book so relatable. It's not just about the intensity of the feelings, but also about how we heal, how we grow from these experiences.
Right. And one poem that really illustrates that idea of healing is Kintsugi Heart. He uses this metaphor of a shattered vase being repaired with gold. So powerful.
That one is beautiful, isn't it?
It really resonated with me. Our scars, those broken parts, they don't make us less worthy of love. They become part of our story.
Exactly. And it's not just a random metaphor. It's rooted in this Japanese art form called kintsugi. Instead of trying to hide cracks in a broken pot, they fill them with gold. It's like Van Rooyen is saying that our imperfections, those are what make us unique, make us beautiful.
I love that. It makes me think about Van Rooyen's own life, going from that quiet town to the bustling city. It's like he's taken these contrasting experiences, pieced them together, and created something new and powerful.
I think you're onto something. It's like he's embracing all of who he is.